When we think of Leo Tolstoy, the towering figure of 19th-century literature, it's hard to imagine him engaging with the nascent world of cinema. His sprawling novels, filled with deep introspection and complex character arcs, seem a far cry from the fast-paced, visual storytelling of film. Yet Tolstoy not only saw the potential of cinema, but embraced it with a visionary enthusiasm. In a conversation found in an appendix to J. Leder's Kino, A History of Soviet Films, Tolstoy speaks of cinema with the excitement of an artist who has glimpsed the future. You will see that this little clicking contraption with the revolving handle will make a revolution in our life, in the life of writers. It is a direct attack on the old methods of literary art. We shall have to adapt ourselves to the shadowy screen and to the cold machine. A new form of writing will be necessary. I have thought of that and I can feel what is coming, but I rather like it. This swift change of scene, this blending of emotion and experience, it is much better than the heavy, long drawn-out kind of writing to which we are accustomed. It is closer to life. In life too, changes and transitions flash by before our eyes, and emotions of the soul are like a hurricane. The cinema has divined the mystery of motion, and that is greatness. When I was writing The Living Corpse, I tore my hair and chewed my fingers because I could not give enough scenes, enough pictures, because I could not pass rapidly enough from one event to another. The accursed stage was like a halter choking the throat of the dramatist, and I had to cut the life and swing of the work according to the dimensions and requirements of the stage. I remember when I was told that some clever person had devised a scheme for a revolving stage on which a number of scenes could be prepared in advance. I rejoiced like a child and allowed myself to write 10 scenes into my play. Even then, I was afraid the play would be killed. But the films, they are wonderful, and the scene is ready, and we have another. We have the sea, the coast, the city, the palace, and in the palace there is tragedy. There is always tragedy in palaces, as we see in Shakespeare. I am seriously thinking of writing a play for the screen. I have a subject for it. It is a terrible and bloody theme. I am not afraid of bloody themes. Take Homer or the Bible, for instance. How many bloodthirsty passages there are in them, murders, wars, and yet these are the sacred books, and they ennoble and uplift the people. It is not the subject itself that is so terrible. It is the propagation of bloodshed and the justification for it. That is really terrible. Some friends of mine returned from Kursk recently and told me a shocking incident. It is a story for the films. You couldn't write it in fiction or for the stage, but on the screen it would be good. Listen, it may turn out to be a powerful thing. When asked about the transition of art from a pure form of expression to a business venture where more and more businessmen started dominating the medium, Tolstoy replied with a mix of resignation and understanding. Yes, I know, I've been told about that before. He acknowledged the inevitable commercialization of cinema, but didn't let it diminish his enthusiasm. The films have fallen into the clutches of businessmen and art is weeping. But where aren't there businessmen, he said. For Tolstoy, cinema was a revelation. He could already see the vivid, fleeting images, each one a brushstroke in the broader canvas of human experience. The rapid changes of scene, the blending of emotion and experience, it all felt closer to the hurricane-like emotions of the soul. A little while ago, I was standing on the banks of our pond. It was noon of a hot day, and butterflies of all colors and sizes were circling around, bathing and darting in the sunlight, fluttering among the flowers through their very short lives, for with the setting of the sun they would die. But there on the shore near the reeds I saw an insect with little lavender spots on its wings. It too was circling around. It would flutter about obstinately, and its circles became smaller and smaller. I glanced over there. In among the reeds sat a great green toad with staring eyes on each side of his flat head, breathing quickly with his greenish-white, glistening throat. The toad did not look at the butterfly, but the butterfly kept flying over him as though she wished to be seen. What happened? The toad looked up, opened his mouth wide and remarkable. The butterfly flew in of her own accord. The toad snapped his jaws shut quickly, and the butterfly disappeared. Then I remembered that thus the insect reaches the stomach of the toad, leaves its seed there to develop and again appear on God's earth, become a larva, a chrysalis. The chrysalis becomes a caterpillar, and out of the caterpillar springs a new butterfly. And then the playing in the sun, the bathing in the light, and the creating of new life begin all over again. Thus it is with the cinema. In the reeds of film art sits the toad, the businessman. Above him hovers the insect, the artist. A glance and the jaws of the businessman devour the artist. But that doesn't mean destruction. It is only one of the methods of procreation or propagating the race. In the belly of the businessman is carried on the process of impregnation and the development of the seeds of the future. These seeds will come out on God's earth and will begin their beautiful, brilliant lives all over again. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and dropping your thoughts on Tolstoy's vision in the comments below. See you next week.